Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And 2 days ago, the Pro Football Hall of Fame announced the 25 modern era semifinalists for the class of 2024. That'll be whittled down to 15 finalists, and then 5 can be elected. I have a series called Is He a Hall of Famer, where I take a look at former players or players whose career is winding down, guys who aren't clear cut Hall of Famers, but definitely deserve the opportunity to be mentioned, to potentially make it. And I look at their numbers, look how their careers went, get my final verdict as to whether they belong or not. So for today's, I will do someone in that group of semifinalists. Actually, his first time as a Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalist, and his twin brother got elected last year. So the 33rd episode of Izzy a Hall of Famer is running back Tiki Barber. Now, keep in mind through this video, I am a New York Giants fan, so I saw a lot of this guy when I was younger. Tiki was a second round, 36th overall pick in the 1997 NFL draft by the Giants out of Virginia. He ended up playing 10 seasons in the NFL from 1997 to 2006, all with the Giants. Let's take a look at his Pro Football Reference page to see his career numbers. So, in his 10 seasons, he played in 154 games, rushed for 10,449 yards at 4.7 yards per carry, and had 55 rushing touchdowns. Take a look at his season by season numbers because he also did a lot of work as a receiver. You could see he added 586 catches for 5,183 yards and 12 touchdowns. Barber was a late bloomer, so not a huge running back, listed at 5'10", 205 pounds. Started his career nowhere near a workhorse. 136 carries as a rookie, but the following 2 seasons, just 114 combined. It was really just the latter portion of his career where he was becoming a bell cow back, and we see that named to the Pro Bowl each of his last 3 seasons. First team All Pro in 2005. That season he rushed for 1,860 yards, 9 touchdowns, also adding 2 receiving touchdowns. Led the NFL with 2,390 yards from scrimmage. Finished 4th in MVP voting and 3rd in Offensive Player of the Year voting that season. Previous season, 2004, he also led the NFL with 2,096 yards from scrimmage, and his final season in 2006 had 2,127 yards from scrimmage. So his final 3 seasons had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, so pretty much retired at the top of his game at the age of 31 years old. Each of his last 5 seasons, he rushed for over 1,000 yards, actually well over 1,000, at least 1,216 in each of those seasons, 1,006 yards as well in 2000, so 6 total seasons of 1,000 yards rushing. He had 2 double-digit touchdown seasons, 11 in 2002, 13 in 2004. As I mentioned, a ton of damage as a receiver as well. 2 seasons, 2000 and 2001, he had at least 70 catches. Another 3 seasons of at least 66 catches, and another 3 seasons, so 8 total of at least 52 receptions. So definitely was a dual threat back. So also averaged 4.7 yards per carry for his career, over 5 yards per carry in each of his last 2 seasons, and also in 2001. So, prolific for a lot of seasons, but again, career short. Decided to retire early. Again, kind of at the top of his game. Another bugaboo of his, though, you can see it towards the right, his fumbles. He fumbled a lot less as his career went on, but 53 total fumbles and a 4 season span from 2000 to 2003, where he fumbled 35 times. Definitely had some major ball control issues in the middle of his career, which sometimes hurt the Giants. Let's take a look at his playoff action. So seven career playoff games. He was a member of the 2000 Giants team that reached the Super Bowl and got blown out by the Baltimore Ravens. 475 rushing yards and 196 receiving yards in those seven games. Just one total touchdown, though, one rushing touchdown in 2002. And other than that 2000 season that they reached the Super Bowl, the Giants were one and done in the other four seasons that they were able to make the postseason. So if we take a look at his career ranks, he is, hold on, 27th all time in rushing yards, 64th all time in rushing touchdowns. Never was a um, never put up huge touchdown numbers. Again, just two seasons with double digit rushing touchdowns. He's actually 104th all time in receptions with his 586. Yards from scrimmage, he's 15th all time. All purpose yards, he's 17th all time. He also did some work as a return man before he became that bell cow back. We see he does have a punt return for his touchdown in his career, averaged nearly 10 yards in his 122 punt returns and 20.1 yards in his 27 kick returns. So, Pro Football Reference has a Hall of Fame monitor, so it mentions a metric designed to estimate a player's chances of making the Pro Football Hall of Fame using approximate value, Pro Bowls, All Pros, championships, and various stat milestones. So this is the running back category. Tiki Barber is right here with a score of 58.5. That score is only better than two running backs currently in the Hall of Fame, those being Larry Zonka and Floyd Little. Some running backs ahead of him that have not been enshrined include Larry Brown, Sean Alexander, Darren Sproles. Don't he was awesome, but I don't fully understand why he's this high. Ricky Waters, who is also a semifinalist, Cookie Gilchrist, Marshawn Lynch not yet eligible, Roger Craig hasn't gotten enshrined, and LaShawn McCoy also not yet eligible. So as a Giants fan, I definitely remember this right after he retired, and it's why a lot of Giants fans aren't too fond of him. So, he became a member of the media once his playing career was done, and in his first season away from the team, he had some comments about quarterback Eli Manning. So, Eli Manning kind of went the high road. Let me see if it says. Oh, speaking on his radio show, The Barbershop. No, let's see, where is it? Doesn't mention. Okay, but it says that he wanted a more intense, fiery Eli Manning. The New York Giants quarterback gave Tiki what he wanted in a loud, ripping voice on Tuesday. I guess I'm just happy for Tiki that he's making a smooth transition into the TV world. Manning said, I'll be interested to see if he has anything to say about a team besides the Giants and what his comments will be on that. Let me see if it says what he exactly said. No, but Amani Toomer was surprised. I thought Tiki and Eli were pretty good friends. So yeah, basically he just said that he didn't think he could ever be. Okay, while Barber praised Manning at times for his play, he also questioned whether he could be a leader of men and make plays when the chips were down. His personality hasn't been so that he can step up, make a strong statement that people believe that it's coming from his heart, Barber said on the show. Barber then told a story about Manning being uncomfortable talking to the offense in week 12. He didn't feel like his voice was going to be strong enough, and it showed, Barber said. Sometimes it was almost comical the way he would say things. Well, those comments aged very poorly because in Tiki Barber's first season away from the Giants in retirement, the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. Eli Manning was Super Bowl MVP, and Eli Manning won another Super Bowl after that. So, those words definitely did not age well, and it's why there are many Giants fans that aren't too pleased with Tiki Barber even all these years later. But this is Giants Wire via USA Today. Four reasons why Giants great Tiki Barber deserves to be in Hall of Fame, written by Joe Fennelly, November, today actually, I'm sorry. So his four reasons are a great all around competitor, ranks 15th all time in yards from scrimmage, Of the 14 players ahead of Tiki on the list, 11 have been inducted in the Hall. Other three, Frank Gore, Larry Fitzgerald, Adrian Peterson, have not yet reached the 5-year waiting period, but will surely gain election. Three 2,000-yard seasons, 3 seasons where he eclipsed 2,000 total yards from scrimmage. Only 3 players, Marshall Faulk, Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, have more with 4. 3 other players have 3 Hall of Famers, Edgerrin James and LaDainian Tomlinson, and Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes is not in the Hall of Fame. His versatility has been unmatched. Only player in NFL history to record 10,000 rushing yards, 5,000 receiving yards, and 1,000 return yards, and a great Giant. He would already be in the Hall had he played an 11th season with the Giants. So I mentioned the Giants won the Super Bowl the year after he left. Had he stayed and gotten that ring, his legend would have been sealed sooner. So that last comment, I need to say something. I've seen the movie Butterfly Effect. We know one thing could change a lot. One small thing. Well, how about a bigger thing? If Tiki Barber had stayed with the Giants, are we certain that the Giants would have won the Super Bowl? So you can't just say, if he stayed one more season, he would have had a Super Bowl ring. We do not know that. And the fact is, the season after, right after he leaves the team, they win the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's a good sign. If that's something the Hall of Fame voters look for. A previous guy I did in a different sport, Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly is not yet in the Hall of Fame, and I wonder how much it has to do with the fact that the Yankees won the World Series this season after he left. The Yankees definitely had a better team that season than they did pretty much at any time with Don Mattingly, but nonetheless, it's probably something the voters have thought of in the back of their mind, and I think that's the same thing that might happen with Tiki. I mean, how much of a Hall of Fame player can you be if you spend a decade with the team and the season after you leave, they win the Super Bowl? And those comments definitely, I don't think, help his case. I know it has nothing to do with what he did on the playing field, but again, it's just going to be in the back of voters' minds. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am a Giants fan, but I lean no towards Tiki Barber making the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm not happy with those comments he had about Eli Manning, but I believe he just didn't have enough seasons of being a high level running back. I get it. He had 1,000 yard seasons. But one first team All Pro. The touchdowns aren't very high, and he had a major fumbling problem through pretty much half his career. He had a major fumbling problem. So yes, if he did play one more season and the Giants still won the Super Bowl, then absolutely he should be in the Hall of Fame and probably would be already. But I lean no. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should Tiki Barber eventually make the Hall of Fame or make it when the 2024 class is announced? Let me know in the comments. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.